So you've gotten to the final conclusion of Shadowbringers, or otherwise known as patch 5.3, and you're on the Hero's Gauntlet. And you want me to tell you how to do it. Well, get your notes out, because it's going to be a ride. And as I just stated, the Hero's Gauntlet came out in patch 5.3. So if you do not want to be spoiled for it, then get out. And first things first, as always, appreciate your waifus. If there is no waifus to appreciate, then appreciate your own. And because this is a story-centric dungeon, if anyone is viewing cutscenes, please allow them to view cutscenes. Or don't. I ain't your mother. Oh, here we go. Alright, the first pack is going to be a bunch of glowy boys that's going to spawn from the sky. That's pretty much the entire dungeon, so don't worry about the variety of dudes you're fighting. At all. There's no white mages or fighters or anything you have to worry about. Nothing like that. And also, don't forget to single target the enemies down, because that's what the trusts do after all. Thankfully would never lie. Class. One of my pupils has brought up a great point that I have neglected over the past few lessons. You should bring the lowest item level weapon you have so that you do the most damage. I had set the bar too low, expecting you to already know that, and that's on me, and I apologize. I'm even going to give my pupil a smiley face for the rest of the dungeon for their contribution. Thank you. You may now sit with the rest of the class for the remainder of the lesson. After a small scene, a pair of Hallows will assist you with the next pull. Pull on down to the wall where a pack waits for you and you'll get jumped by a goon. Be sure to ignore him because he will just fall on the floor himself. By my chocobos, you're right. The tank at any point should be able to take a break and let the DPS tank. We got this, don't worry. See, that wasn't so bad whenever you know what you're doing with my great how-tos. Have another smiley face, my dear pupil. And after another small scene, we will arrive at the first boss of the dungeon, the Spectral Thief, or otherwise known as Locke. Locke's first big mechanic is dash. After a short while, he will dash to a tethered area and attack the area around him. Wait for him at the tether to keep up uptime. He will then use Chicken Knife to spawn blue lines and then performs another dash, this time dashing to 2 areas. Eat the chicken lines for a buff and pick the closest dash and wait for him. And that's the fight. Our favorite pixie will appear and will lead us to the next area. The next pull, we will be assisted by our favorite dressed up frog. I took the liberty of tanking this time to let my pupils know to keep the enemies out of our friend's frog area of effect. And this next pull is going to be the easiest because Tupac comes out with a bunch of trees to help us this time. And the second boss is the Spectral Necromancer. Now keep it in your pants, boys and girls. We are more mature than that. She is a human being, not a piece of meat, okay? Her main mechanic is, you guessed it, necromancy. She summons her dead friends that we may or may not have killed, and they are back for hugs. Hug them back, all is forgiven. And after you hug them, they will explode with love. And later, she just summons more friends to come and hug us. Even some that will hold us down. It's all just a good time, really. And with the dead put back to rest, our resident pixie will open a new path to Lakeland, but will be assisted by, obviously, more friends. There's not much to explain here except single target everything down, and enjoy the jolly cooperation going on. A paladin will spawn at the very end with a bard and black mage and protect them, so beat down the paladin first before moving on. He takes a while to kill. And we finally arrive to the last boss, the Spectral Berserker. Now we need to pull him immediately because if we don't, he's gonna pull us, and some people's gonna be watching cutscenes, so we might as well just go ahead and get the upper hand while we can. His first main mechanic, Wild Anguish, puts a D-pad over a party member. Avoid them at all costs. His next mechanic is Wild Rage, that spawns a blue healing circle that you should stand in. And then he puts a D-pad over everyone. Stay away from your party members and some rock will fall on top of you. You then want to get away from the rock before he leaps at you to avoid damaging the rock. And that is the Hero's Gauntlet. Be sure to leave a commendation for your favorite waifu. And then enjoy the cutscenes. And that's it for today's lesson. Thank you for stopping by. Hey. Where is everybody? Where's my pupil? Oh, where could he have gone to?